Hi Aries, here's a general look at your solar chart for August 2013, and every year at this time the Sun comes into the area of Leo, which is a fellow fire sign, and that gives your fiery energies quite a boost, which you may be feeling like you need at the moment if you're flagging, especially those of you Arians whose birthdays are towards the end of March and the beginning of April. So there's a brighter, more relaxed, chilled out vibration around. That's where the Sun is in. That's where the Sun is until the 23rd, and then from the 23rd the Sun goes into a more practical area where you've got to be more organized, get your act together, and maybe looking at health matters, some of you. Mars, until the 28th, Mars being a ruling planet, is tucked away actually in quite a sensitive area of your chart. It's to do with the home base or some sort of base of operation, some kind of HQ anyway. And it looks as though you'll be busier than usual in and around this area here, inside, outside, but also with family members. So it's kind of, you know, within the castle walls, as it were. And physical effort may be needed at times because of a living or working space, or maybe just more stamina needed on your behalf because of family connections, family matters, but also connections, tribal type connections as well. And Mars in this area may mean more coming and going within a locality, and more hustle and bustle around you within quite a specific locality. Actually, Venus up until the 17th is in an area where you know, if she's in a very practical sort of area, so you can get on quite well with people who are busy doing things, chores, tasks, might be connected with health as well. For some of you, might not be, but Venus there means you can have a pretty reasonable interaction with service providers, or if you're the one providing the service, then you can get on okay with those people who are receiving that service from you. And socializing could be centered around this sort of area, but also a romantic encounter could happen in this type of environment. But definitely there's likely to be females around who will give you practical help when you need it. And then when Venus moves on the 17th, she's in her favorite place then for about 3 weeks. And that means that you and someone special could be really bonding, really clicking. Or if it's not like that, it can just mean that one-to-one type work or other types of quite close relationships, whether they're fleetingly close or close long-term, like with family, flow more easily. So whatever kind of relationship it is, personal, professional, you will benefit from their presence or their contribution, or even it might be a lucrative type a connection that you have with someone's, but you will benefit in some way from this rapport, from this connection with this other person. Now Mercury has been also in a tucked away area for several weeks, in fact since the back end of May, keeping your thoughts very much turned inward, keeping you quite introverted. Also thinking a lot about family matters, maybe harking back to the past, some of you. Just keeping it tight within the neighborhood, again within the castle walls. And you could be mulling a lot of stuff over. There could be a lot going on, could have been a lot going on inside of you. Mercury comes out of there on the 9th, and then between the 9th and the 24th, Mercury is a more innovative, outgoing sort of area where you can feel more relaxed, maybe in your thinking. There's distractions. This more easy flowing energy, this more fun energy. Could be feeling more creative, more articulate. Those of you who are connected to the leisure industry will benefit from this one. And you could just feel like you can be more self-expressive, and also particularly during the time that Venus is there as well, which will be between the 17th and the 24th, because Mercury then moves, although Venus will be there longer than the 24th, but both of them will be there between the 17th and the 24th, and then Mercury moves to a place where your mind will be more focused on important grown-up stuff, schedules, the to-do list, chores, health matters, having conversations about these sorts of things. Or maybe it's not like that, maybe it's mechanics, the mechanics of daily living, maintenance, repairs, and that sort of ongoing, looking after things on a practical level, and also using your skills, or maybe learning some new skills, or sharing your knowledge and your skills with another. Now, having gone over all of those really quite quickly, I want to say that August, and in fact July and August, are really quite special months for us all, because we've got a lot, astrologically speaking, happening in the sky, and whatever is happening in the sky will have a knock-on effect and manifest through the material world, because that's ever the way it was and will be. So at the moment, we still got the grand trine energy there, that wonderful energy between the three planets, Saturn, Neptune and Pluto, in this fabulously nurturing grand trine, meaning that your awareness will have been more intuitive, more sensitive. Really, it's a very supporting aspect for you, and you will maybe even start to pick up on things that may perhaps eluded you previously, Aries. And you'll probably appreciate your home base, or your family connections, or where your sense of belonging is, where your sense of being anchored is, your tribal relationships more. And this wonderful alignment falls in the parts of your solar chart which are sensitive, spiritual, healing, and really quite emotional as well, but emotional in a way where you can allow your feelings to flow more, or actually your emotions do flow more without getting blocked or snuffed out or suppressed. And this is what the energy is enabling you to do. You can really put your emotional drive behind something now and make it how you want it to be. It also means that you're likely to be more aware of the spiritual healing vibrations that interpenetrate your being, and in fact everything, everywhere, all the time. Now, there's something else going on in August in particular, which is bolted onto the side of this beautiful nurturing grand trine, and that is known as a T-square, or as I would call it, a working triangle. And this is happening between Jupiter, Pluto and Uranus, and we've got this potent yet challenging mix, which is dovetailing into the grand trine. Now, this is an interesting one. I've used the word challenging, and yes, it is. We've already got a challenging one, a very long-running one of several years, that's Uranus-Pluto, but this T-square, otherwise known as a working triangle, is creating a tense, maybe conflicting energy. It's true, but the bottom line is that it will dynamically activate the wondrous, but otherwise quite kind of lethargic grand trine. Every good plot needs tension in it. The grand trine is everything on a plate. It's just as good as it gets. But depending on where it is in your natal horoscope, then that's where the energy is flowing. That's where things move most easily. But also in your solar chart as well. But the T-square, or the working triangle, will force this energy, this grand trine energy, to move and apply itself. It'll be through the tension inherent in the T-square that the energy of the sensitive grand trine will become a wave of power. So how well or how badly we use this opportunity is up to us. It'll be also up to us to choose whether we put our awareness where the tension is, where the hubble, bubble, toil and trouble is, across the grander stage, not just in your own personal life, or into the superconductor energy of this positive energy of this wonderful wave. So it always boils down to choice, really, because it's all there. It's just a question of sort of plucking out the best bits, if we can possibly, have the presence of mind to do that. This transit is exact on August the 8th, but we'll be feeling it the whole of the month, and it'll be particularly strong for those born at or near the beginning of the month. So that's the end of the previous month, the beginning of the next month. But if you're listening to this in July, then watch out for the 20th of July, when Mars, that's your ruling planet, will fleetingly trigger the T-square in advance of the longer Jupiter transit, when Jupiter comes into this T-square opposing Pluto and squaring Uranus. And of course, just a reminder, Aries, that with Uranus in your sign until 2019 and Pluto at the top of your chart for more years than that, bringing opportunities for you to carve out a new image for yourself will present themselves, whether you like it or not, in ways that you may not choose, but they will present themselves, and that means that your image, your outer image, is up for a makeover. But of course, you have to start from within. Otherwise, the outer image is just a phony thing. You have to start from within. And the role you're playing in the world is changing, and others will begin to see you differently and are already seeing you differently. So it's your choice what shape that new image takes, and perhaps you don't choose the timing, though, of the transitions, and maybe that's the uncomfortable part. But you get these sort of short, unexpected hops across the board of life. And you Arians born the 30th of March or to the 2nd of April, or with 10 to 13 degrees rising, are going to feel the energy of Uranus the most this month. And just very quickly, Jupiter on June the 26th, Jupiter shifted into Cancer, creating a different geometric pulse to your sun sign, and that means for the 12 months from there, Jupiter is in your home area, highlighting expansion related to your place on the map, but also to your sense of belonging within, your sense of where you're anchored. And this is always a nice transit with Jupiter at the root of a chart, whether it's a solar chart or a natal chart. It almost like gives you this feeling more of security in some way, or gives you access to an environment which feels better to you in some way. And this transit can help settle you down emotionally, and give you a sense of more balance, or the family or the neighborhood. This more balancing energy comes in, and you value it more. You draw more from that environment, but also you give more into that environment. Some of you could be making additions to the home base, because Jupiter, the planet of expansion, loves space. So you might feel as though you're too confined in some way, or you just get access to a larger space and this feeling that you can breathe. And it could mean that actually your space has got more coming into it as well, which might mean that you've got to expand because of that. And definitely a time for you to be able to get somewhere that just blows the cobwebs away from you, and refreshes you. And at this time as well, and when I say that, I mean the 12 months of the transit, some of you could benefit from a property exchange. And you Arians born between the 27th of March and the 4th of April, always 7 to 15 degrees rising, going to feel this energy the most this month. Saturn has moved into Scorpio and your 8th house until 2015, meaning that this is a real gear change in your life, and letting go has to happen for a real gear change to for you to benefit really from some of the decks have just got to be cleared. And this can involve property, finances, a relationship, a job, your own bad habits or your own lifestyle in some way. It's an emotional shift, really. But there will be external manifestations of that inner emotional shifting, and you'll become aware of who or what you can trust. Some of you may be feeling the squeeze financially, but you know that it's not just to do with you, that there are others reliant upon your action, but also your action is reliant upon another's decision, endorsement, or whatever. So, you know, it's joint resources, joint monies, joint property, joint agreements. It's jointly held. Or it's, you know, an emotional connection that you have with somebody else. And you sometimes will feel like it's time to just ditch some kind of relationship, or do what you can to get the best compromise. And some of you might feel that a certain resource or support that you've always relied upon or just taken for granted just isn't there anymore. And this Saturn transit, Saturn is always challenging wherever she goes, will help you slowly to realize that you can fall back on your own resources, that you don't need this crutch or whatever it is, whatever it means to you in your life, and that you can transition now. She will allow you to transition slowly but surely into a fresh perspective, into a fresh way of being, a fresh approach. And you Arians born between the 24th and 28th of March, or between 4 to 8 degrees rising, going to feel this energy the most this month. And that's it for August. If you want to know what the slower moving outer planets are doing in a little more detail, you can find that on my website. I just update that every month. And also you can listen to the forecast for your rising sign or your moon sign if you're interested. That'll give you sort of shape things in a different way. And I will see you the next time.